Hey everybody, Cham Avalanche fan here with Let's Review a Game. So the game I have here today, it's actually a fairly new game. It's going back to one of my favorite animes. Um, like I said, this game hasn't been out very long. It's not even been out for a month. I think, let's say it's past midnight, so today's the 26th, I believe. So it's been out for about 16 days, I think, so almost 3 weeks. The game I have here is Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's World Championship 2011 over the Nexus. I keep wanting to say believe in Nexus because of the one of the season names for Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's in Japan. It's called Believe in Nexus, so I keep wanting to say that. But it's Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's over the Nexus. Um, Now I've already played the game, or I got the game just under a week ago. I think I got it back on the 20th, I think. Um, as for the main walkthrough, the basic storyline, I've already beaten it. I'm currently working on the post-game events that you can do. Um, Now, I have to be honest, between this game, Stardust Accelerator, and Reverse Arcadia, the three Yu-Gi-Oh games, I would say this one is definitely one of the more harder ones. In a good way, though, it is very challenging. Um, the storyline of this game is basically you're a duelist who starts off in what's Crash Town, I believe it's called, at the beginning. It's that western place. If you can remember, if you watch Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, it's that western place. That's where it starts off. I don't think it doesn't show back here. Um, and you start off as a beginner duelist, and basically you keep dreaming if you want to be the best turbo duelist in the world, and eventually you do get to compete. You do get that dream does come true, I should say. Um, but basically, with the game, it does follow the storyline of the 5D's TV series um, up to the World Racing Grand Prix. So this game does go a little bit beyond of what the TV series is at right now. Not too far, but a little bit. Because as you know, the TV series wise, we're up to the point where they're just starting the World Racing Grand Prix, where this game goes to the very end of the World Racing Grand Prix. But basically, along the way, you form a team with your best friend and another duelist. You get to face all the teams. You get to face Team Unicorn, Team Ragnarok, Team Catastrophe, Team New World. Um, if you watch the show in Japanese on YouTube, you know what I mean. If not, then you may not know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so it is very interesting. Graphics are very good. As for the dual screen itself, personally, this one was okay, but I prefer the Reverse of Arcadia a little bit better, mainly because with Reverse of Arcadia for 2010, on the dual field, when your monster was summoned, it actually showed kind of like a hologram of that monster summoned, whereas this one, it just shows the card, which I mean is still fine, but I mean, it was interesting with Reverse of Arcadia how it showed like a small hologram of that, and this one didn't, so that kind of disappointed me a little bit, but not too much. The duels in the game are very challenging in a good way. Even the first few duels, you do have it is quite a challenge, definitely. And as you get on to the more tougher duels, it does get harder, especially with the World Racing Grand Prix, because the way the Grand Prix works, it's basically like it is in the Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D Saga. Basically, it takes three players against three other players. Basically, there are times where where you go first, and you got to defeat as many duelists as you can, or you go second or you go last, depending on what order you're set in. And basically, your teammates try and beat duelists, and whatever duelist can't be beaten, you got to face the rest. And the way it works is, I'm going to spoil it a little bit here. In the World Racing Grand Prix, your first team, you face off against this Team Unicorn, just like Team 5Ds did. And with this, you got to face off against two duelists because your two partners take down one duelist altogether. and you face off against one duelist who's got 2,000 life points and a monster or two that you gotta destroy or try to, and then you face off against one other duelist with 8,000 points. You gotta beat them both in a row. And then the second round, you face off against Team Catastrophe, which you also saw in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds if you watched it, where you got to face two members of Team Catastrophe. One of them has 4,000 life points and a monster, I forget which one. And then you face off against the last member of Team Catastrophe with 8,000 life points. And then after that, you then... I won't spoil that. But then you face off against Team Sherry, which is Sherry LeBlanc and Ellsworth. And you face both of them. You face Sherry LeBlanc. I believe she's got 5,000 life points and a monster. Or no, sorry, you face Ellsworth first, who's got 5,000 life points and a monster. And then you face Sherry, who's got 8,000 life points and starts from scratch. And then after that, you face Team Ragnarok, where you face all three duelists in a row by yourself. Where the first member has a monster and 6,000 life points, and then the other two members start from scratch with 8,000 life points each, so it gets very hard. And then in the final round against Team New World, you gotta face all three members, and they all have 8,000 life points to start, so that's where it really gets hard. But with time and patience, it is beatable. It took me quite a while to beat that part, somewhat. I just got very lucky. I don't know how, but it was interesting. The music in the game, it's almost well, I shouldn't say almost the same. It is somewhat different. If you remember back, if you played Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's Reverse of Arcadia, you'll know if you summoned a certain monster like Blue Eyes White Dragon, Dark Magician, Gale for the Lightning, Stardust Dragon, all those guys, it would show them being summoned with that kind of special music. With Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's 2011, it does do that same thing with all the monsters, but the music's kind of sort of twisted a little bit. It sounds the same, but I think just the pitch is kind of higher. So it's almost the same. Otherwise, the duel music, though, is different from when you're actually dueling. So it's good to see a change. As for the Turbo Duel Racing, it gets really hard. The duel runners go extremely fast. And the one thing I found kind of disappointing with it, it's almost impossible to get a fast duel runner. As far as I know, I can't say that yet because I haven't collected all the duel runner parts, but I have gotten most of them. And it's very hard to get a fast duel runner. I mean, the Reverse of Arcadia, it was very easy to get a fast duel runner, no sweat. This one, it is hard to get the right pieces. And even with some of the duel runners that you make, now if you remember, each duel runner has a frame, like Yusei's frame here, his duel runner's here. And then there's Jack Atlas's dual frame, which is the fortune wheel, or Wheel of Fortune, or whatever. And usually with the Reverse of Arcadia, with those dual frames, you could equip whatever pieces you want. You could equip wings, shield, frame, boosters, and that. In this game, which makes it really hard, with certain dual runner frames, you can only equip certain parts, which kind of really makes it a lot tougher to get a fast dual runner. And that's one thing that was really irritating to me, but it made it a lot more challenging. I know I'm just rambling on. Probably half the stuff I'm saying doesn't make sense. What else is there? The storyline. Well, the storyline is pretty much the same thing as Reverse of Arcadia. It's divided into chapters. I think this game had one extra chapter because I think Reverse of Arcadia had 5 chapters. This one had 6. So it's not too bad. It is a fairly long game, I would say. It's not too bad. At first I thought it was kind of short, but considering I beat the game in 3 days, it kind of did feel short to me. But I would think if you took it day by day and just did it little by little bit, it is a fairly long storyline, which isn't so bad. Besides that, there's not too much else I have to say. So overall, in conclusion, I would say this game itself, it's not a bad game. If you are looking for a challenge, I would definitely pick up this game. Um, it's very interesting. Like I said, the graphics once again are very good. Music's good. Um, with this game, I forgot to mention they have 4 different kinds of duels. 4 different kinds. They have your regular one-on-one duel and your regular tag duel. And Turbo Duel is the same thing. Turbo Duel, you got one-on-one duel, but you can also do a double Turbo Duel as well. So it's basically like a tag duel, only you're turbo dueling 2-on-2 instead, which I found was actually kind of interesting. I did try all 4 duels at least once. They're all interesting, so it's interesting they were able to do that. And there's definitely more characters you can duel against. You can still duel against Yusei, Crow, Jack, but you can also duel against any member from Team Unicorn, Team Catastrophe, Team Ragnarok. You can still duel against Callan. Actually, I don't know if you can do that. No, you can do that in Reverse of Arcadia. You can only face off against Darkseid or Callan in Reverse of Arcadia. This one you can face off against the regular Callan, the one in the Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's TV series where he's in Satisfaction Town or Crash Town, I guess I should say. So that's new. You can face off against Ellsworth, Sherry's butler. You can face off against Malcolm and all the guys from Crash Town. You can face off against Chief Armstrong from the facility. There's a whole bunch of people you can face off against. You can face off against Greiger, Sir Ransborg, and all of them once you beat the game. So there's a lot of options, a lot of people you can duel in the game, so it's very fun. And as for the post-game events, so far they're not too bad. I'm still working on them, but so far it is good. It is challenging, though, I will give it that. So I would say out of 10, I would give it... Out of 10, I would say, well, 8 I would say that's too mean. I would say... I can't give it a perfect 10. I would probably say 9.5. Overall, it is very good. It's very awesome. Like I said, if you're looking for a challenge, pick it up. I recommend it. Very cheap, actually. I think it's... What was that? What did I pay for it? I think with tax, I think it's like $35 or something like that. As far as I know, that's in Canada-wise. I don't know how much it is in the States and all that, but very cheap, actually, considering how much the last game cost. Like a site, yeah. Considering how much the last game cost, because I think Reverse for Arcadia costs, I think $40, I think it was. So this one's definitely a lot cheaper, which kind of surprised me. I thought it was gonna be more expensive than $35. So very interesting. But like I said, that's in Canada. I don't know how much it costs in the States, but I know in Canada it costs $35, I think, with tax. Or $30 or $29.95 with tax makes it $35 or close to it. So yeah, like I said, I rate 9.5 out of 10. The only thing, like I said, the only thing that kind of irritates me is with the dual runner, building the dual runner, not being able to use certain parts. It's the only thing that kind of bothers me. But other than that, there's not much to complain about. Overall, I think it's pretty good. So, on that, that's pretty much it. So, guys, stay tuned for Super Walkthrough Saturday. It's coming tomorrow, if I can get these uploaded by Friday afternoon or Friday evening. And do I have anything else? No, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, actually, speaking of Yu-Gi-Oh, if you want, guys, if you're interested, if you guys do own Yu-Gi-Oh 5D's Dual Transfer for the Wii, and you guys want my friend code in that, because I'm looking for, not telling you desperate, but if you guys are looking for friend codes or anything like that to add to your collection, I'd be more than happy to give you mine. It'd be fun to duel different people, because I just got used to the dueling on Wi-Fi. I think I'm ranked 800 on the dual transfer Wi-Fi. So yeah, if you want my friend code and that for 5D's dual transfer, just send me a message and I'd be more than happy to give it to you. Just thought I'd throw that out there, because I'm looking for friend codes for 5D's dual transfer so I can duel a whole bunch of people on Wi-Fi. So yeah, besides that, that's gonna do it, and I will see you next time, guys, for more Let's Review a Game. Peace, guys.